time with one of the most frenetic and fabulous finishes in the century plus that this team has been playing.
We're tied at 16. Next score wins. That's it. Snap. Caleb looking to throw. Going deep. Catch made. The Iceman coming.
Well, you got Iceman Barry. No. You got Iceman Barry, brother.
It's something that you either have or you don't. That's one of his strongest points of his game. When things are breaking down and we need him to make a play.
Caleb Williams took care of business himself.
He goes full gamer mode.
Don't make him play.
So that's a superpower. His ability to get out of the pocket and make plays and create on the move is what makes him special.
Let's go!
You know, he's kind of a magician back there in the backfield.
It's Captain Crunch time.
You know, the play's never dead until the whistle's blown.
Iceman!
There's Mike's better. Bear down. I got some barrels.
Man, oh man, welcome back to the Clubhouse, everyone. It is your boy, the Cricket Commish, here with the Chicago Clubhouse Pregame Report. And we are up and ready to go because not only is the number one seed still up for grabs for us and our opponent, but we already wrapped up the NFC North with the Green Bay Chiefs tripping all over their goddamn selves and losing to the Ravens, and not just losing, getting just rammed. King Henry ran all over Green Bay, and Green Bay looks in shambles going into the playoffs. They already locked up their spot. They're good to not there. I'm not going to lie to you. Not too worried. Willis looked like he re-injured his shoulder. They had to have the guy on the practice squad come in and play a few snaps. So if that's who we're up against and we end up with the 2 seed at the end of the day, I ain't that worried. But I would be lying to you if I was to say I'm not worried about tonight's game. Tonight's game against the 49ers is going to be a big-time matchup here. A team that we could very well face in the NFC Championship game if things kind of break a certain way for both teams here. So that's a team that I don't know if I would really be eager or excited to play this team at all in the playoffs. Because to tell you the truth, I'm really not excited or eager to play them tonight. After seeing what Brock Purdy did the last game, he's feeling pretty damn good about himself, I'm sure. He's coming off a 5-touchdown game. Luckily, we won't be without Kittles tonight or have to worry about facing him, but they still do have Christian McCaffrey, who is having a monster season, looking like the Christian McCaffrey of old. So, but before I get too much further into it, we have quite a few guests joining the program today. So let me go ahead and get them into the clubhouse, and let's start off with one of my co-hosts here, the guy who is always on level 10 when he comes into the clubhouse. When he comes in here, you know he's in the clubhouse. He's always on level 10, and that's why we have to call him Amp, because he is always amped up. What's good, Amp?
What's good, Commish? What's good? Hey, man, hey. Just watching that preview again, man. I got chills.
The Iceman will do that to you.
The Iceman will do it, man. You get to kind of go through your bones, like, yeah, that's that guy right there, man. Yeah. Hey, so how's it going, man?
It's going good. I had a good Christmas. Hopefully you enjoyed your Christmas as well. You got some good Bears goodies, hopefully.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. It was a great Christmas. It was great watching the Bears last week do what they did to those ones up north. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I can't wait. I'm really excited about this game, though. I'm really excited. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll really show where the Bears are at and how far we can go. Like you said, Purdy is hot. Purdy is
I
hot,
agree.
and McCaffrey is like he's doing what he does. So if we can go toe to toe with them, I think anything is possible. Yep.
I agree. And let's say what's up to the chat here. We got Crazy Ace there. Thank you. He's watching us from South Korea.
What's up, Ace? For serving our country. Thank you.
One job, and they failed the assignment. They did. It was a tall order for them to ask the Panthers to somehow surprise and beat the Seahawks, who currently are the 1 seed. But don't get me wrong, crazier things have happened any given Sunday. Don't get me wrong. We know our boy Coach Chef loves to say that shit, and it is true. But I don't think very many people kind of had big money on Carolina beating the Seahawks today.
Man, they got dog walked. They got dog walked, man. Yeah, but
everybody in the chat, please remember to like and subscribe here. Help us grow, help the clubhouse grow. The bigger the clubhouse is, the more fun we have in there. And what's going on to D-Dot. Real quick, before we get too much further into it, let's go ahead and get our other co-host in here. He's a guy that likes to cook up a lot of good opinions of some good takes as well, and some good food on occasion. So if you catch him in a good mood, he might cook up something hot and good for you. Let's see what he has to say tonight in the clubhouse. Coach Chef, welcome to the clubhouse, my friend.
Yo, you right. On a good occasion, I whipped up something last night. I was at work. Speaking of things I whipped up a jerk turkey burrito for some of my coworkers.
Okay.
So
okay.
On occasion, they were like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "Just try it." I don't get to cook much in the kitchen, but we had some jerk turkey, we had some rice, we had some beans, a little cheese, tortilla, put it together, a little salsa, a little pico de gallo. Hey, people was like, "Hey, that's good." I was like, I can do this. I know I work in a hospital, but I can whip it up.
But we were thinking about getting some pizzas here real quick, but fuck that. That shit actually sounds pretty good. You might have to whip that up over here.
Man, I might have to. I gotta start whipping out some actual recipes. What's going on, Amp? Yes.
What's going on, bro? What's going on?
Hey, man, it's football Sunday, any given Sunday. You're right. I expected more from the goddamn Panthers, not necessarily to win, but shit, they could have kept it close. God damn.
Yeah.
Like you said, did the tiny quarterback even have 100 passing yards? Because he fucked up my parlay.
Yeah, it was close, man. I don't think he did. Coach.
I had him. I think I had him at like 150 yards. I'm like, he could put 150 yards.
You didn't get that. You didn't get that.
No, not even close. Not even close. Him and Terrell McMillan, I had him. I was like, well, if he get 150, if Terrell get 50, that'll be a little sweet little parlay. Give me a little change in my coffers, but no, none of that. Still, I mean, the Seahawks are, I'm willing to admit now, the Seahawks, I think, are the second or tied for the best team in the NFC, along with the Rams. That defense is really good. Even in the
Rams defense? You talking about the Rams?
Seahawks defense. That Seahawks defense is really good, man. Even when Sam Darnold had a horrible game versus the Colts, like that defense kept them in that game. That defense, the top of the NFC is Rams, Seahawks, and then Bears are lurking in there with a couple other teams. But those two teams, man, if you don't trust that, I keep calling him Sam. His name to me is same Darnold. He's the same old Darnold when he shows up.
Same. So you know how it's gonna end up with him, right?
Yeah, it's gonna end up with him throwing some interceptions to a team, and that's why I can't take credit for that nickname. I get that from one of my favorite podcasters, Bomani Jones, but he calls him Same Darnold because when you really need him, because he tried to give it away versus Indianapolis, but. Yeah, excited for today's game. Yeah, excited for today's game against the 49ers. Brock Purdy, like you all said, is extremely hot. Willing to see what we do with these injuries, with these guys who are not healthy. See if the Bears can. I mean, everyone said it. Even a former NFL coach on Sunday Countdown said it. The Bears defense is leaky, and they definitely leaky when they don't cause turnovers, man. You got to have the turnovers. I know some people don't count fourth down turnovers as turnovers. I do. They don't count versus the actual turnover numbers. But a fourth down conversion turnover is a turnover. We had four of them, two fumbles, and two fourth down turnovers on defense last week, which is what I said. We need a minimum of two. You need two to give the Bears a shot, because if the Bears can't cause turnovers, man, their defense is that bend but don't break. Without the turnovers, it bends more. It breaks more without bending.
It breaks more than bend. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I definitely agree with that. And before we get too much into this game and get our two guests into the show here, let's just kind of briefly talk about what happened on Saturday. Coach Chef, you and I were kind of live on TikTok watching the game together. And
I went live, yes.
And if I remember correctly, Coach Chef, I was pretty cool, calm, correct, and chill, and kind of like thinking everything would work out, and you were on the other side. Like, I almost had to talk you off the ledge a few times. You were going
Everybody who knows me know they had to talk me off the ledge. Hey, Em, I'm sorry you missed it. I'm sorry you missed it. I think I try to give you like a alert kind of a TikTok thing. For those who don't know, I do post content on TikTok, Bears TikTok. I have posted some Fighting Illini football TikTok. I'm looking forward to doing some more basketball and just Chicago sports stuff. But it's Bears season, so I'm 99% in on all Bears content. We went live. I went live about pretty much almost like 80% of the game. I went live about halfway through the first quarter. And the weird thing about TikTok is you can't go back and rewatch it, and you can't go back and pull video, because I wish I could pull some of the video from that live TikTok. We had some good content. We had some good content. Me being like kind of chill and Cricket, man, before, he was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, bro, we got time. We got time.
You know what? We must have been the same way, Commish. We must have been the same way, because I couldn't. And it was man.
I started. My blood pressure usually goes up around the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. As long as your team, the Giants just put this game away. To me, as long as you're within 2 scores with 5 minutes, I think you have a chance. So much in the NFL can happen in 5 minutes. The Bears have done it this year. They've come back versus the Giants 2 scores in 4 minutes. So I don't start kind of getting kind of antsy until about the 5-minute mark of the fourth, even if you're not playing the best. And I was confident that they would find a way, even after the drop by Zacchaeus. The only time I really was kind of sweating was like that onside. That onside was kind of like, if you get it, you got a shot. If you don't, then that's game. And I'm like, they didn't play very well for 3 quarters. So if they lose tonight, then you should have lost because you didn't play well for 3 quarters. But I always also say the game's not over till it hits triple zeros on the clock. But when they got that onside, I promise you, I was like, no, we got. I in my soul, I was like, once we got the onside, I was on it. I was like, no, we win it today. I was a little shocked that Ben didn't go for the 2 after the touchdown.
From Jade Walker.
From Jade Walker, I thought he would go for 2 because we were away, but I guess the momentum from his point of view, we weren't playing very well. So hey, let's see if we can extend this to get us some more quote unquote momentum, whether you believe momentum is a real thing in sports. But man, hey man, I tried to give Caleb Williams a nickname earlier this year, and it fell short because the masses at the field and online have come up with the Iceman. I do coin it when it's in the fourth quarter. I call it 4th and Caleb because he shows up in the fourth. That's not the best nickname. Iceman sounds a little smoother, Caleb Iceman, the Iceman. But all I know is in the fourth quarter, he shows up, and I will be standing on this ledge until forever. When it enters the fourth quarter, I immediately call it 4th and Caleb because that young man shows up in the fourth quarter of pretty much every game. He has 6 comeback wins, the most of any first or second year quarterback since Peyton Manning. But people forget, we had about 4 or 5 last season, and if it was not for poor coaching, time clock, field, flipping the field to where we can have the ball in a place where we can score points. He would have had a 3 or 4 last year. We were in both Packers games, the one we lost and the one we won. The field goal block, everyone remembers. So Eberflus doesn't try to get 5, 6, 7 more yards. We were coming back versus the Lions on Thanksgiving, which got Eberflus fired, and that was clock management. Caleb could easily have double-digit fourth-quarter comebacks. The Washington game, the whole Bears offense has a putrid 3.5 quarters, and he just comes out with a late touchdown at the drive to score before the defense and the coaching not managing the time. So, to me, it's 4th and Caleb anytime it's the fourth quarter. Eager to see what the Bears are going to do today. But, yeah, man, anytime that young man has the ball in the fourth, regardless of the personnel, although I was hoping they went 3 receivers, but they went with their top pass catchers in Zacchaeus, Moore, and both tight ends, Kmet and Loveland. Because I was like, man, even that the game time drive, I was surprised to see oh my goodness, I can't remember anyone's name. The rookie running back on the field instead of Swift. He came out. Manunga was on the field. I'm like, yeah, don't you want your pass catching running back on the field? And they had Manunga. I don't know if it was like a rotation thing. It was just his turn or something like that. But it was a couple plays where I'm like, hey, man, let's get DeAndre Swift into some of these routes on the field and blah, blah, blah. But, hey, Ben made the decision. Caleb came up with the passes. That 4th down pass after the play before where he just kind of threw it away. We were like, yo, you got to stand in there and let that bad boy ride. He did the very next play for the touchdown. So, hey, looking forward to this game very, very much.
Okay, so Amp, real quick before I go to you, let's just read this comment. Thank you, everyone, for dropping a comment and the like. See Frank's in there dropping comments. But Chris Kelly says, can you imagine? I ain't heard one Bears fan talk about draft picks this late into the season. Yo, ain't that a change for us? Usually at this point, we're talking about the draft, what spot we're going to get. Should we win these last few games? You know what I mean? To get a better draft spot. It's very, very nice to not worry about and not be talking about that shit. And you be worried about
going to be I agree with that. You know what I mean? This season, man, it's just me and the commissioner's talking about it backstage. This is special, man. This is special, and no matter how it turns out, this is a special season, man, because it's just a plethora. I believe my thoughts. It's just a plethora of things to come. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be. I think we're gonna be relevant for some years.
Oh, we got a spoiler alert. It says Bears are picking 32 in the 26th draft. I didn't know that. Thanks for spoiling that for me. That's awesome. That's
we'll take that.
We can only hope that's true.
Hey, so, we'll definitely take that. Mm-hmm.
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great. I can promise you we'll get Ant to do the claw. We will get him to do the claw.
Oh, yeah. We wouldn't. He gonna pull out the claw.
If we're picking 32 in the draft, I'll do the claw.
We gonna hold you to it.
There we go.
That's my word. I'll do the claw. That's my word. If we're picking number 32 in this upcoming draft, I'll do the claw. Mm-hmm.
I like it. Go ahead real quick, and then I want to ask him something.
The Bears are ahead of schedule. My only issue, which I would say everyone would agree with this, is although our defense is very opportunistic, it just doesn't bode well when you don't rank in the bottom half or the top half on certain defensive metrics. Yards per carry, yards given up. The points per game they've gotten better at, but some of those small analytic nerdy stats, they kind of matter. EPA on defense when you're not getting they're getting the third down stops. They've been kind of lacking, but they still allow a lot of yards, and they allow other quarterbacks to throw for a very high percentage and complete a lot of passes. So that's just the fear. And then, of course, the lack of pass rush is always a thing.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, the lack of pass rush without the blitz always is concerning. Luckily, that's one of the upcoming teams that here, the 49ers, they have suffered kind of from the same issue that we do in that aspect. But so real quick, just to kind of toot my horn, I know at the end we kind of we pick the scores and whatnot. I believe last week I was the closest in predicting the score. I had it 21-16, Bears win.
You did.
You
did.
did.
Something in my stomach was saying 22, but that's such a freaking odd number, and I was just like, I don't know how they get to 22. 21 at least sounds more reasonable, more, you can see that. So, but I was almost like the Price is Right without going over. I was closest to it, I believe. So
you were the closest, and the person who in the media game that made me think that weird numbers for football doesn't matter was my man from ESPN, Boomer. Boomer used to, when he used to do those, when he was the primetime guy, well, he's still the primetime guy, but when he used to do those predictions before the game, he would have all these oddball scores, 2-9, and all those scores. Like, who scores? So it's not unrealistic. You can have those scores. You can score 4 points and win a game hypothetically. So
is that when he was rumbling, bumbling, stumbling when he was still on the
in his prime?
Yeah,
Boom prime, late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah,
the good old times, the good times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into this 49er game and kind of chop it up a little bit. But before we do that, let's go ahead and bring in our two guests that we have in the clubhouse. Pretty familiar. One's more familiar than the other one. The first guest is my co-host for the fantasy show, and he is the loudest mouth in fantasy football. As soon as he comes into any room, you will hear him no matter which room you're in. You'll hear him from bay to bay. That's why we call him the mouth from the bay. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for coming in, baby. That's how we doing around here. What's up, guys? Chicago Clubhouse. It's nice to see you.
What's going on, Mal? What's going on? What's going on, man?
Just excited for this game, man. It's like like a little kid when you open your present. I got one last present up for Christmas because this game's big.
Wow.
There's so much stuff going on with this game. So many playoff implications. Like the Niners can get that number one seed if they take care of business today and take care of business next week against the Seahawks. And that right there is something even I didn't expect to see when Fred Warner got carried out on a car against Tampa Bay. And I was just thinking to myself, like, man, if we just have a respectable season, I'm going to be happy. And then all of a sudden, Mac Jones comes in and settles the ship and wins a bunch of games that you didn't think was going to happen. And Brock Purdy came back and he looked like ass that first game. I mean, I thought for sure like it was a mistake to put him out there. He didn't look healthy, but what the hell do I know sometimes? You know what I mean? Like, because he's looked healthy, he's looked good. Now he got a little bit. He don't got the biggest arm in the world, but now he looks like he has got a little bit of zing in that those passes again. And last week he looked great. So I'm hoping for a repeat performance.
Yeah, it's not easy coming back from a turf toe, man.
No,
definitely. But it's been almost 2 months. It's not at all. But he came back in November, so yeah, he's back.
One of the most underrated sports injuries. It sounds. I know when I was a kid and I would hear, "Oh, turf toe, a guy's out 2, 3, 4 weeks." Until you actually have it, or you see, go Google turf toe. Go Google surgery, toe surgery. Those have to do with the strength.
He definitely looked horrible that first game back because of that.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow missed more than half the season with a doggone turf toe. He's a quarterback, so you need that is a very underrated. They should call it something else because turf toe sounds like a hangnail. It is definitely not that.
Definitely not.
So let's go ahead and get our other guest in here to kind of give our co-host a little bit of backup. He's a guy that is part of the Gen Wealth Network, talks a lot of fantasy football there, but is also a big 49er fan as well. So let's go ahead and get him onto the show. He likes to come on Wednesday nights with us to talk fantasy football a lot. So if you watch us there, you will be very familiar with our boy Bogey. Welcome back to the clubhouse. How you doing, my friend?
Yes.
What's good, Bogey? What's good?
Hey, Hey, pleasure to be back. Shout out to the Mouth gang. You know what I mean? Pleasure for having me back on, Crook. You know what I mean?
Bang.
Good to see you again. And then shout out to Amp. I'm gonna start calling you Amp Pacino. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm like, that kind of you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So you can have that one for free too. That one's dope, right? Amp Pacino. You know what I mean? I was sitting there backstage like, I'm calling him Amp Pacino.
We'll have to change that in the group chat. We'll have to change that in the group chat immediately.
Real talk.
But you know what I mean? Pleasure here talk some ball with y'all. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
So, guys, either one of you start off. What has been the biggest surprise for your team? Let's start with your team this season.
Year. Next
the entire season.
Anything in particular as far as whether it be like a particular player staying healthy the majority of the season, or just how players, fighting through adversity, through the injuries, or just anything in general?
I think it's just it's like it's kind of a catch-22. It's not what really surprised me. It's just that I was starting to doubt it a little bit as far as Shanahan's coaching the Shanahan way. But this is a perfect testament to why. I would never say things like that out loud. Like, if it wasn't for a Mike Vrabel over there in New England, or maybe even a Liam Cohen down there in Jacksonville, teams that just won their divisions, or even like going back to the Patriots, that could be the #1 seed over there. These guys are like a shoe-in for Coach of the Year. If them not around, Shanahan's definitely in the conversation, just going about the type of year that we've dealt with as far as injuries, adversity, contract disputes, drama in the locker room, etc. All of it. We done dealt with all of it, and it's just been the next man up every time. Granted, easiest schedule on paper. So I'm still, I've been hating on the Jackets all year because I felt like that was one of those, we had all these teams on the schedule that we should have beat on paper. And that was one of them where it's like, if we wouldn't have dropped that one of the Jags, that was that one of those bad Brock games. And I'll get to that too later on. Remind me to bring that up when we're talking about, the schizophrenic nature of the Brock showing up. Sometimes he's the Brock, sometimes he's Brock. You know what I mean? And I hope the Brock shows up tonight. I'll just say that. You know what I mean?
Well, we hope not. Mouth, I guess, for your team.
He showed up. He showed up the past game. He had 5 TDs last game.
It's the Colts. There's a caveat there. There's a caveat.
The Shanahan dynamic for you all, I think people sometimes misunderstand the difference between him and his pops. His pops was, the wide zone and the running backs and just getting running backs, rotating these running backs, but needing a strong leader type quarterback. I think his son is different. I think that he believes in more of the star players as far as the running back, the tight end, the position players, and he kind of leans more
like a driver. I'm gonna build a really nice car, and I need a good driver, a decent driver. Doesn't have to be the best. Doesn't have to be Dale Earnhardt Jr. He just and that's where there's the thin line between genius and arrogance. And that's I usually when I talk about Shanahan because he believes his system can do it. You know what I mean? Like whoever. I mean, look at we were winning ugly with handsome Jimmy at one point. You know what I mean? The Shanahan way works until it doesn't.
Right. Until Jimmy started throwing passes blindfolded.
Exactly.
But the idea that Shanahan, it almost gives me old school 49ers with
Steve Young,
the great 49er coach who thought he could replace a Hall of Fame quarterback, Bill Walsh, where he thought his system was bigger than the quarterback. Or he even gives me a little bit of John Gruden, where they don't really want the guy. They want the guy who's going to be on time and do what they say as far as throwing the ball.
They ultimately want to be the one that they're thanking for the system working. Like, hey, the coach is the man, right? You know what I mean? I mean, I get what you're saying. It's not like, because look at people don't even view the Brock as any kind of calibrated quarterback that even deserved the bag that he got, or XYZ, all the media, what they say about him, because they at the top of those headlines, you just say, oh, it's the Shanahan system. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that shit always kill me. That shit always kill me though, because if any good system, you're going to be a system quarterback. Tom Brady was a system quarterback because he just ran it the way you're supposed to be running. You got to run what they call the plays. You know what I mean, and what they do, and you just don't always. He's not gonna like Kyle Murray. He's over there doing his own thing,
Oh, he's
and now he's about to get run the fuck out
Kyler Murray,
of
like his
Arizona.
helmet's too
Like
big, bro.
that's my point though. Is like Brock is running the Shanahan system better than any quarterback that he's had. So I mean that's like any good quarterback is a quarterback is like freaking Caleb Williams is running Ben Johnson's system. You know what I mean? Are you gonna call him a freaking system quarterback? No, he's running exactly what Ben Johnson wants him to do. It's like that's something that's kill me that they don't give Brock Purdy his due when it comes to the things that he does in that system, the things that the off the script plays that he does come up with. They don't want to say that he's a dink and dunk passer. The guy freaking you get yelled at by his coach because he doesn't dink and dunk. He throws it 20-30 yards down the freaking field trying to make the big play. So I mean that's this poor guy said that he wasn't worth the money, he wasn't worth this, he wasn't worth that. But like, what if we win the next 2 games and he's the number 1 seed? Then what are they gonna say about that shit then?
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you in 1 second. So I'm gonna let Amp voice what he wants to say. The thing, the idea of the quote unquote the driver of the vehicle or the quarterback manager is when when things don't go as planned. What are you gonna do? What is your skill level? That Caleb Williams, that the people say he's not good at it, but Tom Brady was on time, but he was good at extending the play. Dan Marino stepping up, stepping to the side. When things don't go exactly the way they're supposed to, how special are you off script? How special are you to make the plays when you have to be made? And Brock has shown he's the dude. Now, can he do that in the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera? Go ahead, Amp.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, first of all, I wanted to come on and say, like, I was wrong. I think it was last year we played the 49ers. And I said that Brock Purdy was a system quarterback, a system of that West Coast Shanahan quarterback. But he's not. He is not that guy. No, he's a quarterback, man. He's a winner. He's a winner. You know what I'm saying? I think that whether you put him in, if you put him in the Kyle Shanahan West Coast system, he'll win. He'll drive that car. I think if you put him in a Ben Johnson type system, he'd drive that car. The guy just has it, man. And so that's all I wanted to say. Is like, first of all, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But the guy has it. That's all I got.
And I think the Brock, he's only a season removed from being like QB5 overall as far as all the metrics that going back to 23. He's won a ton of games for his short career so far. And if it wasn't for the fact that he was, like Mr. Irrelevant, they probably could squeeze at least one more year without paying him. So the argument was, is he worth the money, this and that. I always looked at it as like, in today's day and age, look at how hard it is even to find a QB, let alone one that, even if he's a system guy, and which I'm with you, Amp Pacino. I believe, he's not just a system guy. He's the best guy that we've found in this Shanahan era to actually run this system. I mean, it shows by all the big games he's got us to, multiple NFC title games. He's got to a Super Bowl, which was, if I wasn't a Niner fan, I would say that's one of the better Super Bowls if you're just a fan watching, because it's only one of 2 overtime Super Bowls. It was a nice little shootout. You had everything you wanted. But as a Niner fan, obviously we didn't.
We don't talk about that. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah. Change
that. Next question.
No,
but going back to the Broncos, like he's played in
really good at that.
But he definitely gets hot and cold. Right now he's hot. A good confidence builder. Like when he plays a team like the Colts, that defense sucks. We did what we're supposed to do.
He's liable to throw some interceptions himself because he'll try to fit some shit in different places.
We're going up against Chicago. They lead the league in takeaways. So I hope it's pretty good, not pretty bad tonight, because pretty bad throws a bunch of picks, and this is a very opportunistic defense that they see this on film. So hopefully we could just take care of the ball. You know what I mean?
That'd be big. That'd be big.
TJ Edwards.
You can't lose that turnover, though.
The fact that since TJ Edwards came back, I don't know, was that 6 weeks now, 5 weeks? Since TJ Edwards came back, you guys have barely given up like 3.5 yards per carry on average. So that's a big deal for us. Luckily CMC actually averages more passing yards a game than he does rushing yards this season. It's pretty crazy.
Very
When you think about it.
underestimated.
So
He's been a much better receiver this year than running the ball. That O line
yeah,
has not been opening those
exactly.
big gaping holes that they have in years past. But he's been
That's
amazing. He's tied for first this in a career for most seasons for running back rushing and receiving for
and
800
receiving.
yards apiece. So like
Let's
that
go.
guy, he is the new age dynamic type guy. In fact, the fact that he's been able to still continue to put up yards, being that only in sports are you old at approaching 30. He's 29 this year, so it's like how many more years will you get out of him? But Shanahan, I think my issue I would have is you traded for a guy like Brian Johnson Jr. from the Commanders. I really would have thought that they would have spent more time getting him more touches to kind of lessen the load of McCaffrey to make sure he's healthy for this
Definitely agree on
playoff
that.
run.
Yeah.
Definitely
So
agree on that.
I
Definitely
think
agree with that.
I mean when you look at the stats, I mean if you're just looking at the stats, yes, Brian Johnson is second in carries, second in yardage, second in touchdowns. Even his receptions, he's only got 7. I thought that McCaffrey has 280. I really would have thought it would have been more of a 75, maybe 25 as far as touches. I know CMC doesn't want to come off the field, but if I'm the coach and I'm trying to keep like my the old school NCAA football game, my guy who's the impulse player with the star around him who can do playmaker, if I'm trying to keep that guy for the end of the season healthy, you got to use a very talented back in Brian Johnson Jr. I really thought that Shanahan would have given him more touches periodically through the season to kind of lessen the pressure from having CMC get all those carries and all those
amount of touches. He's got a decent amount of touches. It's just that, like, he would be a great closer for us. We've just been in a lot of dogfights that have went down to the wire where it's like we just couldn't remove CMC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I'm sure like if there were some games where we were winning handily, maybe 2-score games in our favor, you see a lot more Brian Robinson. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is. And Brian Robinson, he's his own runner. Obviously we run his own scheme over there, but yeah, he's not the greatest one-cut runner that what Shanahan's looking for. He's kind of been more plotter than anything. So I mean that's probably the reason why they see that during practice and throughout the course of the week preparation. So
McCaffrey's also his way to being. McCaffrey's also on his way to being another running back, which is a very short list of running backs with 100 receptions. I knew that he was getting the targets, and I knew that the health of the 49ers receivers hasn't been the best. With Juwan having issues staying healthy and Bourne and all those receivers, but McCaffrey, this looks the way they're using him reminds me of how Stanford used McCaffrey his Heisman Trophy year when he was the punt returner, the kick returner, the receiver, the running back. Like he's got 800. I mean,
5% of the offense.
Exactly. He's got 280 as far as attempts. He's got 116 targets, 92 receptions, 800 yards. He leads the team in both statistics, not just being high up there. I mean, not even. I don't even think the year that the Rams had Marshall Faulk. I don't think he led the team in targets and receptions the year he went 1,000. But I mean, you with the NFC West being such a very
PEDs really work, man.
The top heavy, man. The 49ers have had to stay on about making sure they get that guy.
Let me ask you this, Shep. Are you comparing McCaffrey to Marshall Faulk?
I think he's of the same caliber.
I think what he's saying is because he's in the 2000 all-purpose club.
Yeah, I mean, Marshall Faulk is an all-time great.
CMC was only like the third to do that outside of Marshall Faulk with Damian Thomas
and
Craig Rogers. Shout out to
Craig Rogers, another 49er, exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's far to say that McCaffrey is not comparable, if not the same caliber as offensive back. Exactly. So you're telling me if you like him, if you like him, I would say of this new era of running backs, you got your Derrick Henry, who just set the record for most 200-yard games in a career for a running back. A guy who's top 4 in purpose. If he's not known for receiving, you have other backs. The kid out of Buffalo, he's an outstanding running back, but a running back now who is extremely comparable to being a receiving threat and Whether you're
He's
throwing
the
the
Marshall
backfield,
Falk, LaDainian
he's the
Tomlinson.
of this era. Yes, he is
Yeah,
of this era. He is
he's
of that
all
echelon.
that.
That kid is on a Hall of Fame track, even if he tails off, unfortunately, God forbid, in his 30s, which most running backs do. But he's of that caliber. When he finishes his career, he will be mentioned with guys like a LaDainian
Get him a
Tomlinson,
title.
guys like a Marshall Falk, because he's got that talent. He's always had it. He's got the lineage. I mean, it's not even the fact that he has the lineage. He's proven that he can receive at a high clip and run the ball at a high clip in the NFL. So yes, I would say he's extremely comparable to Marshall Falk.
And like, I mean, kind of to switch gears, but still stay on the same topic, at least of running. I mean, your guys' run game with Ben Johnson, I think you guys are the second or third most rushing team in the league right now. Like, and that's
Second.
There you
Second.
go. And that's one of the most. We're super susceptible to the running back. So it's going to be a tough game against Swift and Money Gang. You know what I mean? Shout out to Kyle Money Gang. He was one of my. I got him on all my dynasty leagues. I was super happy because he was the one. I was like, listen, Ben Johnson, whoever he chose, he had to work with what was there. Granted, he's had Swift before, so at least Swift could pick up the system right away. But I knew that kid Money Gang was going to be a thing at one point. And you know what I mean? They're running both of them. As long as you guys are in a close game, they don't abandon the run. So it definitely opens up for the play action. I mean, Ben Johnson.
That's what last week when they didn't let Jonathan Taylor go off on last week, so that's like a good sign though, because definitely the run defense for the Niners has been suspects, especially after losing Fred Warner. And we've had so many injuries in that Mike linebacker has been a rotation with that green dot on his head. So honestly, it's last week when they kind of held Jonathan Taylor, not totally in check, but he didn't have a 3-touchdown 150 game. So that kind of shows that hopefully they can keep Swift from just taking over the game and doing things like that. So that was a good sign for us.
Bro.
Yeah, that guy too.
I do have a question for you guys, you 49ers fans. I think one of the MVPs for the season is not a player for you all. I think it's one of your defensive coaches. Correction, I gave it away without even having suspense. I think it's you all, defensive coach. Being the fact that Robert Saleh's back coaching that defense like he did before he got the Jets job, and although they are not an elite defense because of injury, they are another almost bend but don't break. They've allowed quite a bit of passing yards, but they have stopped the run. Like they still are eighth in yards giving up as far as rushing. I know that the injuries have plagued you all. I was looking at the injury report because my doggone computer, my laptop just went to sleep. With him being back, I think it gives you all more of an affordable form of having the vision that you all also can compete for a Super Bowl this year, and what you all will be in the playoffs. What is your? I mean, you mentioned Ben Johnson in the running game for the Bears. As fans, just unlike our Packers fans who couldn't unforesee the Bears beating them last week. What is your biggest? What is your biggest concern?
You guys? And that's no cap. Really concerned with because also Robert Saleh defenses are very highly susceptible to mobile QBs, and we have a lack of pass rush, and it's like with our weak ass attempt at it. You know what I mean? Say we do flush Caleb, excuse me. I didn't mean to disrespect you guys. Caleb out of the pocket. I mean, he could definitely get some yards. Like he could be a real X factor, and we could see a 3-headed beast on the ground, and that could really kill us. You know what I mean? Especially because I think this is going to boil down to a time of possession battle, and if it's not a close game, you know what I mean? You guys are going to be able to run all over us, and then turn the Brock into regular Brock, having to be one-dimensional and throw the ball, playing from multiple possessions down. That's my worst case scenario, and it's highly possible. Then there's the fact that you look at Ben Johnson's history as a coach, now as a head coach, and even when he was with the Cardiac Cats, they called him the Cardiac Cats because they were definitely in games that went all the way down to the wire. You know what I mean? I don't know, something about Ben Johnson. You know what I mean? And so if in the event that we do have this game in a positive game script in our favor, we can't keep our foot off the gas pedal, because on the what I'm worried about, we need to turn Caleb into that. We need to turn into him one-dimensional, having to throw the ball, running around. If we could take that run away, I think this is key here for us actually winning at home tonight.
So we got
You want to read it? Go ahead, Chef. Go ahead.
Oh, so for those who don't know, we also have a way for you all to contribute to the show by sending us a oh Lord, I can't talk at all today as much as I open my mouth. A comments where you can donate some money to the podcast. Crooked Commission, who's also producing, asked the question, what is the key for winning? Now, I'm sure he's asking the 49ers fans first, and I definitely, people have heard me week in and week out say what the keys to winning are. What will be the keys to winning for 49ers fans, knowing that you may not have Kittles out there today, and the run game has been thorough but has not gotten the big plays that you all had hoped for, as well as possibly not having.
Starts right here. It's gonna take some heart and miles of it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's gonna take Robert Saleh coach his ass off. It's gonna take Robert Saleh's gonna have to coach his ass off, dog. I mean, that's.
Go ahead, Mal.
No, I was gonna say Robert Saleh's gonna have to coach his ass off. I mean, quite honestly, he was the best free agent pickup that we had this hot season. Without him, we've seen how bad Sorensen did last year as a defensive coach, and all he really did was just change the freaking defensive coach. And he came in, and also like an underrated thing too is that guy that he brought from the special teams coach that he brought from New York has absolutely just changed that. What was a big weakness on our team to a natural strength now. I mean, Sky Moore has become a ridiculous freaking kick returner for us. Shout out to Eddie Pinero.
Wise in his name.
What I mean? Like this guy has like saved the kicking game like a motherfucker because Jake Moody was not that guy no more. He was shook, and it sucks that he left. But that's the way that's the name of the game. But honestly, without having Kittles, that's a big blow. But we hopefully we can get Ricky Pearsall back today. A healthy one, because even Ben Johnson said that the one thing that the Niners were always known for was a running game. Like there always was a big bruising offensive line and going in there and just in the trenches and with the run game. But he said now the way that Shanahan's been calling plays has evolved. Like the passing game has actually been a lot more dangerous than a running game is right now, and that can go into
you can say we're running
like a big we're basically but that's one of those things right now. So that I think that the key to the game is to stay clean. Honestly, like we talked about, that secondary is a bunch of ball hawks out there, and if Brock Purdy it's like hey, if you throw it to the right jerseys, then I think that's the big thing that's going to keep us ahead, because these defenses are both basically like mirror images of each other, except we don't get the takeaways that you guys do. But we definitely got a bend, don't break type of defense, and if we can keep that game, keep that turnover battle positive in our favor, then we got a good chance to win this game, because it's no weather or anything like that we got to worry about. It's not
the edges and the outside plays, stretch runs, things of that nature. Because going over the middle too a lot, which is a lot of where we attack a lot of teams. I can see us veering away from that a little bit today, because you got TJ Edwards, you got Tremaine Edmonds. They're going to try to take away CMC.
I mean,
in every
the crazy thing too is even without Kittles, like we still have Tundras and we have Farrell. So we've lost Kittles for like 5-6 weeks this year. So I mean, he's been out, and the guys that stepped in for him, like they both stepped in and scored touchdowns for themselves.
And here's another nightmare scenario: is when you're looking at the scout report, right? If you're Dennis Allen, you're like, bro, we're gonna kill that offensive line. Even if they don't have good pass rush, Chicago on paper, everyone looks like they have good pass rush against us. Like and this is why it's important for us to get the ball out quick today. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, it's gonna be we're gonna own the outsides. You know what I mean? Even if they started adjusting to that, I'm pretty sure we'll start killing them on the inside. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting. It's a nice little chess match here. You know what I mean? And Saleh, all these guys, they all got history together. You know what I mean? All these guys have went to war. It's gonna be real. It's gonna be a real interesting one. I'm definitely worried about y'all. I'm not gonna say that I'm not.
It is football.
I have very low expectations for my team.
Okay, I expect it to be. I would hope, since it's in a nicer place, I would expect to see some scoring. And right before I get to you and your concerns coming as a Bears fan, obviously, watching and being an outsider from the 49ers, I would say that just remember, guys, make sure you hit us with a like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to like the channel. It helps the algorithm out. Hit us with the HBO special, help a brother out. As well as we do try to get all of your comments read and respond to all of your questions and your comments. But we do have super chat. So yes, if you do grant us and bless us with a super chat, we definitely will get your comment read immediately in response to that. So with that being said, Bears have that typical bend up, but don't break defense. We do cause a lot of turnovers. What is the biggest concern for you watching the game tonight? What will be your biggest concern watching the 49ers versus the Bears tonight?
Well, my biggest concern all season has been our interior D line. To be honest with you, that's been my biggest concern. Got to stop the run, man. We have to stop the run. But this game, I don't know. I just have this feeling. for this game that Dominique Robinson, the DN, he's gonna be a special part of this game today, man. Far as he's gonna be a special part of this game
tonight.
Yeah. I really think that, man. I think last week was his first week back, and he showed that
it's the second game back.
It's been a couple of weeks. Okay, yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. So, and he keeps showing that grit. He keeps showing that grit. Like, I'm not gonna give up. They was double teaming him, and he was still fighting to get to that quarterback, man, or to get to that running back, trying to come up the middle. I like that. It's 2 11-4 teams, man. It's 2 11-4 teams. So, they both got there being good. Real worries. My only worry is that we lose, man. I mean, I think the Bears have a great chance of winning. I think they have a great chance of winning this game because of their rushing game. And like you said, you got Menengai, you got Swift, and then you got the Iceman. You got the Iceman back there because he's going to keep plays alive, like Brock Purdy. But I just think that the Iceman is just a little bit more. He's not that part, right? He's not as experienced as Brock Purdy, but he's a lot more athletic, man. So I think it's going to be a great game, man, and not too many worries. No more than you guys have. Our secondaries.
Sometimes when you don't know better, you do better. When we're talking about Caleb Williams, right? Like he's learning on the fly, and he's winning. You know what I mean?
But you know what, man? I think he knows. I think he knows.
Sometimes when you don't know better, you do better.
Right. He does, man. So I really like this game. Like straight across the board, man. 11-4. West Coast offense, Ben Johnson offense. Defense is, both defenses are kind of, run defense is kind of, iffy. We'll just say iffy. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be a good game, man. I think it's going to be a close one. But of course, maybe I'm biased. But of course I'm biased. I got our Bears taking this one, man.
Touche.
So for those who don't know, we're going to extend it a little longer today. Instead of going our typical hour 10, maybe 15, we're going to stretch it to an hour and 30 minutes. So we are coming up on the 5 o'clock hour for those who are on Mountain Time, especially in Phoenix where we don't have the daylight savings time. My biggest concern is the running game for the 49ers. The Bears have had weeks where we look good versus the run, and then we had weeks like last week where we let a backup running back look like the starter for the Packers. It's what Bears run defense is going to show up. Is it the team that shut down Saquon Barkley, or is it the team early in the year who allowed a rookie running back who was the number one running back picked on the board look like an all-pro when he had to look like that the entire season? Of course, I'm talking about the game versus the Raiders and Ashton Genty. So my concern is with the Bears ranking in the bottom half versus the run. I mean, the ultimate says I've said for the past couple of weeks I thought that the run defense had been looking better, but they didn't really look that great last week. Last week we allowed the Packers to run for almost 200 yards. So So my biggest fear is not necessarily, well, it will be if that happens because then the play action is wide open. But is CMC, McCaffrey, and Brian Johnson, or one or the other, them both averaging more than 4 or 5 yards a carry, and which would allow, a guy like Shanahan to call all of those misdirections and, the things the anti-things you were taught when you were in high school and grade school, like, hey, follow the tackles. If you follow the tackles, that's where the ball's going to go. In today's football, pulling tackles doesn't mean, pulling guards doesn't mean they're running the ball to that side of the field. Ben Johnson does the same thing. So my biggest fear is if you can get a guy, if you get a guy like McCaffrey who's averaging, I believe, a career low with yardage this year.
65 yards a game this year thus far on the ground, and then about 72 or 75 yards receiving. So it's to the tune of almost 140 yards all-purpose a game. But it's crazy that he's averaging more receiving yards per game this year. So, you know what I mean?
It's not just that; it's the yards per carry. So McCaffrey is around 3.7, which is not even close to his average for his average for his career is 4.6. So he's a full yard practically under his career average per yard. So my biggest fear is him having one of these games where he averages 4.5, 5.5 yards a carry, because then that opens up so much more for their offense. If they don't have to force the ball to him throwing the ball, that they can just run the ball with him, which will open up the passing for. It doesn't have to be Kelsey. It could be a backup tight end who we've never heard of. It could be Jennings getting off on the play action. Last year, people forget. I didn't forget because I had to look it up. And I forgot. Kittle's had 100 yards receiving. Jawan Jenkins, I think, had 2 tutties versus the Bears when they went off. So, and that was with a team that, quote unquote, had a defensive-minded coach, although he was fired by then. So, my biggest concern for offense is the running game for the 49ers, because if they start running with success, they'll obviously have so much more success in the play action. And then on the other side, Darnell Wright did he make that? I've been looking for it now. Did he make that secondary flight out to California because he stayed with an illness? Okay, so my thing is, is his and protecting our quarterback, and can the Bears once again, my thing is, can the Bears play a full 60-minute game? Not this, we're going to play mediocre for 3.5 quarters, and we're going to wait to the fourth quarter where I coined it 4th and Caleb to let him do his thing. Can we stay competitive with this 49er team that, although they have injuries, is still a very talent-laden team? Can we stay competitive for them for more than, unlike the Colts did, where the Colts made it extremely close in that game until the second half. And then, 49ers did what they did. So that would be my concern. McCaffrey and Johnson running the ball with success, averaging more than 4.5 yards a carry. And then with defense, I don't think the Bears we don't turn the ball over as Bears fans, but their defense is giving the 49ers defense confidence that they can stop us, into, short yardage, 3 and out, short field, flipping the field in that special team. So that'd be my concern.
Allowing any of these offenses to get going and have long extended drives is definitely what the defenses are trying to prevent, right? Mm-hmm. Because you get a Ben Johnson going, it's bad. You get a Shanahan going, it's bad. So I'm really hoping for some tit for tat, because both of these teams have played a lot of games that come all the way down to the wire. So I'm at least hoping, because I just hope it's not a blowout. Because, man, we can't stop the run. You guys are one of the best teams running the ball right now. And
I was about to say that. That's for me. That's not a concern, man, because the Bears can run the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Bears can run the ball. And they've proven that. Yeah. So that's kind of like a tit for tat thing. We know the Niners can run the ball. The Bears can run the ball. So, who's gonna take the ram and say, okay, we're just gonna keep running it and pounding it down their throat until they can stop it? Who's gonna do that? Or is it gonna be Shanahan, or is it gonna be Ben Johnson that says, okay, I wanna get fancy with it? You know what I'm saying?
That's gonna go into those third down conversions now too. Who's gonna get each other off the field? Because with both Purdy and Williams, they can extend plays and do things like that, and especially the Niners defense, we don't get to the quarterback very often. We don't do a lot of pressuring, so those third and longs, third and 12s, you don't get those guys off the field. All of a sudden they turn
could be an
into
X factor.
you turn those 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 play drives that end in a touchdown. That's gonna whichever team does that, the other one it's gonna just absolutely kill the other team, because those third downs, getting them off the field, that's gonna be big for whichever team can do that to the other side.
Yeah,
I was even thinking about this.
Hey guys, so before we get into some comments, for those who don't know, I knew DJ was going to play today because DJ's not on the injury report for this week. It was Darnell Wright, and I missed it because the comments said, "Hey, if you read the comments, yes, I'm aware DJ's playing." Yeah. The only people who are guaranteed out, which I was looking for.
But DJ caught that virus. He caught that virus up there at Alice Hall. He caught that virus.
Al Bundy, I can read, but here's the thing. If you would have, I'm sorry, if you would have super chatted, I would have saw your comment immediately. So, just to come back there, I wasn't worried about that. Darnell Wright was the one who had some illness because there's been some flu going around at the Bears. So he was not doubtful, but the illness. He wasn't out or anything. He was full participation. I've been trying to bring up, my laptop is on the fritz right now, trying to bring up the injury report.
He traveled on a private jet.
He definitely is going to play. DJ was not without question. The real question would have been, but he was cleared and he had been participating in practice, was the rookie Luther Burton III. He's going to play. Obviously, we have Rome out.
Yeah.
CJ Gardner-Johnson will be playing because he kind of had a little tweak on the high percentage. So we're getting more healthy on the defensive end for the Bears. Obviously, Kittles is out for 49ers. He hadn't practiced all week, so typically your players don't practice for the entire week.
Can I ask you a question, Chef? Coach Chef, anything on my man Ricky?
So Ricky is still questionable.
He's questionable.
I'm actually watching right now. I was turning the channel on my TV because I got my laptop.
Because I'm using my phone right now.
Hey, the sad part about it is that it's apropos because Ricky was actually shot.
Yeah, he did get shot. He took us to the chest.
I thought it was just a
He had that body armor on. He had that Under Armour.
In Cali, by the way. And he's a Cali kid, even though he played ball at Arizona State and Florida. So just a quick update for those who don't know, although it's still competition of still competing with the East. So the Eagles have a 13-0 lead versus the Buffalo in Buffalo right now with about 6.5 minutes in the game, and at the toilet bowl that they're calling it, or the tank for. I hope you're not taking from Mendoza. The Giants are beating the Raiders right now. I was watching that on.
I think they put them away. I think that game is done, right?
It might be done now. I've been going back and forth.
Hey,
look, man, I'm like the black Adam Scheffler. I got 2 phones. I got a laptop. I got a TV over here.
Let's go, Black Chef.
Adam Scheffler. Okay. So I got the injury report back up. Obviously, for those who know, just reading just the basic injury report. Obviously, Rome is going to be out. He'll probably be out until the playoffs. They might give him a spin tour at the end of the season with the Lions just to get them running again. Nick McLaughlin, Nickelback is out, so we will still be seeing some rotations of Stevenson along with CJ Gardner-Johnson, although he's one of the few defenders for the Bears who's actually playing 100% of the snaps when he's healthy, as well as Jalen Johnson, who's been getting healthier and healthier this year. He looked better. He's been looking better as the games have gone on.
He had like a core thing going on.
He had a torn abductor.
Damn.
Jalen Johnson is looking average. He's been looking average.
Yeah.
I know he's coming off that injury, but
surgery after the season. That's why.
Yeah, Olamide Zaccheaus. I was going to mention that. Olamide Zaccheaus is out today. Darnell Wright obviously will play. Luke Newman has been activated, so now we have another lineman who'll be activated to playing. DJ Moore had the sickness, but he hadn't been showed up on the practice roster at all. CJ Gardner-Johnson was full practice on Friday. TJ Edwards is going to play, although he didn't practice, but he was limited participation Friday. Yeah, he's been battling that gluten, that hamstring, and those soft tissue issues this year. Sean Wright playing tonight, though he didn't practice Friday, but he was limited. He had a mixture of a hamstring and the illness. Like I said, the illness bug has popped up on the Bears all this entire week. But we do get Luther Burton back. We do get Luke Newman back, who had spent some time on IR. He was a backup guard. So we have. I expect to see Ben. I really do expect to see Ben maybe put some more of the six linemen on the field. He was doing that earlier in the year when we had most of our linemen healthy. So maybe that'll be another opportunity to run the ball and get some different looks.
Little 8-gap scheme with tight ends on the end too.
Yeah. But for the 49ers, the only guys who are definitely out are Ronaldo Green, the cornerback. I know that Kittles is questionable on here, but he is out tonight. And then Ricky Pearsall, they may push it to a game time decision. So
Ricky,
man, I was like, man, you poking the bear with the with the Ricky. But I think Ricky Pearsall gives them another dynamic. So him being healthy with that ailing receiving core, it'll just kind of give you CMC and those receivers who collectively none of the 49ers receivers have reached 700 yards receiving yet this season.
No one should be scared of any of our receivers like that.
Now you say that. You know better.
It's kind of a reverse.
Right.
It's the scheme that everyone should be afraid of. You know what I mean? And if
I understand it, but healthy Juwan has put up numbers in season pass. He really got off last year. He became kind of a darling in the fantasy landscape. So my next thing would be saying, if you're taking groups, so let's do some. We haven't done this a while on the Bears pregame report. I'm going to give you all each position group. You know, we're going to start at the top with head coach. We're going to go all the way down to special teams and all that by position. What group would you be pro? We're going to get a thumbs up, thumbs down, so we can kind of roll through them pretty smoothly. So if you had a chance, well, can't give a thumbs up for Ben Johnson or coaching, but if you could pick it, and who has the advantage for coaches right now? Would you say Ben Johnson? I would take Ben Johnson for this exact game, or I would take Kyle Shanahan. Amp?
I like Ben Johnson on this one, man. I'll take Ben Johnson on this one. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about you, fellas? We're going to how about you? Who do you think has the advantage as far as coaching?
I'm going to say Ben Johnson just because we he might surprise us. And versus like Shanahan, he tends to outcoach himself more than anyone outcoaches him.
That's why I'm going to take Shanahan. That's why I'm going to take Shanahan. I was like, sometimes he gets in his way and he gets a little pig-headed on what he wants to do. But
outcoaches himself.
It's like, but at the same time, he's been doing this a lot longer than Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's, he's had a nice little run in his first year, but I'm still going with the guy that's been doing this for quite a while.
Ben Johnson's an X factor tonight. He might, when it's a game like this, he's saving some
I'm going to lead a little towards Shanahan because of the time he's spent as a head coach. He's got that time in. Also, Ben Johnson has been known to get in his own way. Remember, there was a big play, big turnover on downs last week when Ben Johnson got a little too cute with the snap between the center and the tight end to your 5'8" running back, and it killed the drive. So I think both coaches have been known, even when Ben was in Detroit, of being susceptible for trying to do a little too much at the wrong time. But because of his time as the head coach, his time as a Super Bowl coach, as far as being to 2 Super Bowls, I would give the advantage to the 49ers coaching staff, especially special teams, and Robert Saleh being the defensive coordinator. Now, quarterbacks. If you could pick a quarterback right now for this game, if you had a choice in the draft, who would you take for this game right now, regardless of talent around him? You taking Brock Purdy or you taking Caleb Williams? Amp?
All right, I got man, baby. Take an Iceman. Mm-hmm.
How about you, fellas?
I'll take the Brock just because I've seen it and I kind of see it to believe it, and I believe it now.
I mean, if we're talking about measurables and all that stuff that they do, or whatever else, you know what I mean? Yeah, Caleb he was the number one pick for a reason. Brock Purdy was, if he was like 2 or 3 inches taller, you know what I mean? He would have been a second round pick. But I mean, Brock Purdy has shown that he's a football player. All those games that he won in Iowa State and everything else, he had like almost 50 games played over there, and he's taken that knowledge and went to the NFL with it. So I mean, to me, that's just the intangibles that he brings, and is something that I gotta say with Brock Purdy.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the Iceman, Mr. Fourth, and Caleb himself. I would take Caleb for these exact factors. Caleb has 26 runs for first downs this season, so he can get out the pocket, and he's willing to go get the first down when he needs it, even though there was a little hiccup last week, but he recovered by not sliding, by diving head first, as well as Brock's ability to throw sometimes untimely and very bad-looking interceptions. That's one of the reasons why he dropped in the draft, because at Iowa State, he was a very good Big 12 quarterback, but he was known for, quote-unquote, for those who don't remember, he was considered a gunslinger in college.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was
throwing very bad interceptions at very bad
Gunslinger's not a good label.
So if I had a choice for today's game,
and that gets him in trouble. Honestly, that does get him in trouble with Shanahan sometimes. That does get him in trouble. Shanahan gets on his ass about that. I mean, they heard him say, like, good job, Brock Purdy. He's like over there, like, you lucky motherfucker with a jump pass.
I'm going to take Caleb Williams. Now, I'm not going to say one running back or the other. I'm going to say running game. So both teams come with a two-headed monster. Now, the 49ers tend to lead more on their number one running back than both of them, and the Bears do have two running backs who are over 700 yards combined this year apiece. Bears are looking to be one of the few teams in the recent history to have a 1,000-yard rusher and another running back with 800 or more yards. So what running back group would you take? Would you take the Bears or the 49ers? We're going to go in reverse order, so you're going to go with Mouth first.
I would do the Bears. They've just been doing it all year long. They've been running the ball on everybody right now. And it doesn't matter who they are, what kind of defense. They're definitely shown that they had that opportunity, the opportunity to kind of just take over a game with not just one running back that can get it done, but two. That kind of that when guys come in and surprise a lot of people, because that guy definitely because we do fantasy, so he came out of nowhere and just started who the hell is this guy? You know what I mean? So he's been a definite surprise of not one game. Well, no, one guy's not doing it, and then you got another guy. He's kind of got that Knuckles and Sonic from Detroit, and he brought it over to Chicago. Now he has like another two-headed monster again.
Two Sonics.
Okay, how about you, 316? What you got? Who would you pick? Would you take the 49ers run game or the Bears running game?
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna in Shanahan's run game we trust because it's multifaceted. It's if they're gonna stop us on the run, if they're gonna stop us on the ground, we're gonna hit them through the air with the short passing game because that's another version of us running through the air, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Okay, I can respect that most definitely. How about you, Amp?
Hey, check this out. I'm taking the second ranked running game in the league. The second ranked.
Hey, look, I can't even hate on it. It's tough. It's tough.
I'm gonna make it.
Playing.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, man.
No, I got you. I know you don't curse. I'm also going to take the Bears running game for the certain fact you got two guys. Surprisingly, Monunga does have the longest run between the two, but Swift is still the quicker, outside zone guy, and he does have. I think he leads the league in 10+ yard explosive runs this season. Monunga also can hit you with the one cut downhill, put his head down, and get those tough yards, short yardage. Both have been known to catch the ball. Obviously, Swift's a little better at it with 31 receptions. And then, obviously, Caleb runs the ball. He has almost 400 yards rushing over a team where it's really, really been heavy with McCaffrey running the ball heavily compared to his backups or the running back. So I would take the Bears running game. Receiving group. And I say receiving group, I mean tight ends and wide receivers. We're going to keep going in the reverse order. I'm going to go now. Who would you take? The receiving core and tight end group for the Bears or the 49ers?
Honestly, I like the 49ers. If it was a healthy George Kittle, then it would, to me, it's just with Jennings in there and bringing Kellen Bourne back. That's just they got a lot of weapons out there, and Jennings is an absolute dog. When he was third and Quan for forever, and all of a sudden, Brandy Ayuk, took his little ball and went the fuck home. I was like, but Jennings is came back healthy, and he's been that dog again. So I mean, I think overall they got a nice depth, and they got guys who've been there and done that. Chicago's they got some young cats, they got some young dudes that are definitely they're definitely nice on them over there. But for me, it's still 49ers.
Okay, how about you, 316?
Man, is Ricky playing yet?
Oh no! Come on, man.
outside of
that's a good one. That's a good one.
DJ Moore. I mean, I'm going with y'all. At least you guys got DJ Moore and like Loveland and Burton. You know, we don't have too many options. I mean, shout out to Kendrick Bourne Identity. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homie, DeMarcus Robinson. You know, outside of Juwan Man Jennings, it's gonna be kind of tough. Maybe Tonja's all of a sudden is sneaky, it kills some shit tonight. But man, I mean,
he's done it before. He did it when Kittles was out before.
So tonight on the Teletake when it comes to the receiving core.
Okay. How about you, Amp?
Hey, check this out, man. I'm gonna start off by saying I call number 84 Stickums. You know what I'm saying? 18 get the ball anywhere, Colston Loveland, anywhere in his where he's at, he's gonna catch it.
Is
so
that what
I
they
like
used to put on the gloves in the 80s, the stucco?
No, not Daryl Stingley, Stickum. Right, not Daryl Stingley, Stickum. So I'm loving Colston Loveland. I like Cole Kmet for his blocking. DJ Moore, I don't have to say it if it's understood. And then Luther Burden is an up-and-coming star. So I love the Bears receiving core, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to give it to you guys tonight.
Okay, so I just turned to well, not Peacock, but NBC. So I'm going to take the Bears receiving core as a whole. I didn't know this until I just looked at it. So if you exclude Juwan Jennings as a wide receiver, if you exclude him as their wide receiver, he has 8 receiving touchdowns. Kendrick Bourne, Ricky Pearsall, DeMarcus Robinson, and I guess you can enter Sky Moore. They have all combined for 1 receiving touchdown. While the tight ends for 49ers.
And it's DeMarcus Robinson who has it.
Yes, exactly. It is DeMarcus Robinson who has the 1 touchdown. Kittles has 7, Jay Collins has 4, and even Luke Farrell has 2. So I'm going with the Bears, man. Even with OZ out, you got DJ Moore, who's been the number 1. You got Loveland and Kmet, who are bona fide number 1 tight ends apiece. Even though Kmet has been taking a back seat, and you get Luther back. You have the young Jade Walker, who made some plays last week. I'm going to take the receiving core for the Bears. They're a little more healthier. They're a little more getting those bigger plays as far as production as we've seen. I will say, going back real fast as far as inactives today, because NBC has it up. Although I did say that one of our linemen, he was activated from the practice squad /IR. Newman is inactive tonight. And obviously, I believe Pearsall is going to play. When I look at 49ers inactives, he's not on the list. It's Kittles, it's Gerardo, it's Jordan Watkins, hasn't played much, and Bill Given, Robinson, Green, a lot of people who are already inactive. So
I switched my answer to the 49ers core when it comes to
because you got Ricky Pearsall back. I got Ricky back. So Ricky is active for today's game. So let's just go straight into O-line. Just kind of speed it up just a little bit because we got to get in some predictions and we got betting lines. If you take O-line straight up right now, O-line as far as health and production, who are you taking? We're going to reverse the order once again and go with Amp first. Who are you taking? O-line, Bears O-line or 49?
I'm taking the beloved, man. I'm taking the beloved O-line. Yeah.
All right.
I'm going apparently they call it the beloved. I'm with him with the Chicago line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about you?
Our line's really bad. The scheme helps it.
It's like, our line has gotten better, but honestly, with the additions that you guys made in the offseason, you got that O-line for you guys. Ben Johnson turned that thing around in 1 offseason. So, I mean, definitely Chicago's O-line is become Achilles' heel has become a definitely plus for you guys now.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears O-line. Not a whole lot of explanation, but we've been healthier this year. We've run the ball at a higher clip. We've allowed less sacks, less pressures than previous years for Caleb. So I'm going to take the Bears O-line. Let's jump right into defensive line, which honestly, I'm going to go first. I'm going to say it's a push. neither defensive line.
Hey, come on, man. Shout out to Austin Booker, man. Austin Booker's doing his thing over there for y'all.
I mean, it's been he's only flashed the last 2 weeks.
Demario Jackson,
I haven't seen
not Jackson,
before
Demario
the last
Robinson.
2 weeks. Before the last 2 weeks, Austin Booker has been missing since the Cincinnati game. In all honesty, we did get Demarcus Robinson.
That was the last game he blew up, or what?
Yeah, that was the last time. Like, if you think of it, even Ample say it, the last game where we noticed Booker was the Bengals game. He splashed. He had a half a sack last week. He got penalized for the head helmet to helmet contact.
Oh, no,
even
he's
though
gonna show up tonight.
It's a bang play, man. The guy drops his head last minute. It is what happened. They ended up finding the young man $11,000 and some change. Now, although we do have a guy who has potentially with Sweat, who's going to get to 10 sacks hopefully tonight, I'm going to say push just because neither team has shown, even with Nick Bosa, that and he has only 2 sacks this year, although he's only played 3 games. I know he's out with injury. The combined sacks this year, 49ers have 18 team sacks, and surprisingly, the Bears have a total of 31 sacks. But I'm going to go push online because neither team has a very high sack rate. How about you, Am?
You know what? I want to go with that push, Coach. But like I said earlier, man, I think that Dominique Robinson is going to make a difference tonight. I think that Dominique Robinson is going to make a difference. So I'm going to take the Bears D-line, man.
Okay, how about you? 316, what you got? Who's over?
I'm defense. I'm give it to the Bears. I didn't know y'all had 31 sacks on a year. I mean, just compared to
we had a lot of DBs with sacks too. We had a lot of DBs with sacks.
That's right. I mean,
he's talking about manufactured pressures there, so that's not the defensive line.
I mean, they've also had some coverage sacks too. Now that I think about it, where like they've been fairly good in coverage for the most part. They kind of a bend don't break, like you guys said. They'll give some yards on the ground for the most part this year, and then they'll tighten up on them in the red zone, and then or turn the ball over. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to y'all D line, man. Pause.
How about you, man?
For us, I like our middle. Like I think the person to look for is that youngster Alfred Collins for the Niners. I mean, because if we're gonna slow down, it's absolutely because I mean I think it's a huge factor on whether you guys are able to run all over us or not. Is if we can control that middle of that D line, and if we don't control that line of scrimmage at all, we're gonna get blown out of our own house. So I mean, I think you definitely gotta look at Alfred Collins and some of those young kids that have been playing out of their mind. Coach Solid, once again, he's been doing a hell of a job this year. So I mean, for me, that's a name to look at. If he's having a big game, that means that the running backs for the Chicago Bears aren't.
All right, Mal.
Okay. All right. Let's now. We're coming up on the 30-minute point. I just want to speed through this. So we're just going to name what we're going to take real fast, and then we can get our predictions in and the betting line on what you would think betting-wise. So we're just going to end it with linebackers. What linebacker crew are you taking? Go ahead, Mal, who you got? Linebackers. What group?
I mean, right now, we got no linebackers. We got no linebackers left, so I'll take your guys.
49 Bears.
Yeah,
the Bears. Okay, how about you?
I'm going with Trumaine and Edwards, man. That tandem over there. You guys are killing it over there.
Yeah.
Demario Jackson.
The Bears.
Great rotation.
The Bears.
Okay,
the Bears.
With the Bears. We're healthier right now. They don't have their all type linebackers. So I'm going with Bears. DB group. What were DB groups? Safeties and corners. Who you going with? We're going to go Amp first.
I'm going with San Francisco on that, man. I'm going to San Francisco on that position.
I know we're out Bernardo Green. I'm just gonna go Chicago because I mean with Stevenson and Jalen Johnson, Kevin Byard, the savvy veteran, GJ over there. I got to give it up to y'all. You guys they're getting sacks and turnovers in that secondary. It's crazy.
Okay, Mouth.
Yeah, without Bernardo Green, if he was playing it, that would go to Niners, but it's definitely the Bears today.
But shout out to Malik Mustafa. He's gonna lay hand on somebody today. He's gonna do it.
Malik,
I want to take the Bears because the Bears DBs have been more opportunistic with picks. We do have 2 DBs with a combined. Just 2 of our top DBs have 11 interceptions. Gardner Johnson has 2. I'm going to take the Bears. The entire 49ers defense, surprisingly, once again, only had 6 interceptions this season. Yeah. Okay, and we're just going to finish up with special teams. We're going to start it off. If I was to pick a special team, that means kicking, punting, and returners. I'm going to go with 49ers.
Give it to the Niners.
I'm going to go
definitely Niners.
Kicking game and return game. Who would you take?
You already know. You already know, man. The 49ers. 49ers. You already know on that one.
The best special teams in the game.
I don't know about all that. I'm just talking about from our side. From our point of view. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that.
Bogey, what you taking your special teams, obviously?
Especially based on comparison of what we were accustomed to. We've been flipping the field. I just hope they don't use money gang in the return game, because once they start figuring out they just need to put the ball in his hand, you know what I mean? Might be bad for us.
Mouse.
Well, I mean, we haven't used our kicker as a punter since November, so if we keep that going and he don't kick until he'll kick into January, then we'll be good. So we're definitely going to take the Niners.
I'm going to take the Niners too. Eddie Pinheiro.
Yeah,
Pinheiro. Hey, you should know him.
It's like Gucci.
Yeah, former Bears kicker.
I was just about to say, you should know him, Chef. You should know him.
I do. I just stuttered on his name because I've got a couple things on my mind I wanted to get off before we push out of here. In fact, he only has one missed kick this year. He is officially on for field goals. He's 27 for 28, longest 59, and he's 28 for 32 on extra points. So yeah, I definitely would take them. In fact, just to give a quick stat, the last time he kicked for the Bears, I think he started his career with the Bears. Yeah, was when he was 24, 29.
He did.
It was 23 for 28. Once again, the kicker world is crazy, man. You leave one team, and all of a sudden you find your niche with your second and third team. Okay, so we're going to get into prediction right now. Right now, the money line for the Bears, since this is a Bears show, the Bears are plus 3.5. They are plus 164, and the over-under is 51.5. Is anyone taking anything on any of these lines for the Bears? Obviously, the 49ers will be minus 3.5. They are the team who's predicted to win the game.
I'm just going to say this without just minus everything that I'm wearing. As a gambling man, money line Bears is the play.
I was just about to say, I'll take the money line. Because when I looked it up, I had the money line at plus 159. So I take that.
Bears. I use FanDuel, so that's what I did. Before I got on here, I checked what FanDuel had. What you got, Mal?
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that one. That's definitely.
Yeah, if you're a betting man. Plus, I don't bet on.
So based on DraftKings has got it at 50 over under 50 and 50.5. FanDuel, that's what I use. That's my side. I got a 51.5. Anyway, I would take the over for both teams. I would take, regardless of what the over under is, I would take the over.
Yeah, definitely.
I will. Hey, do me one favor, Cricket Commish. Let's pull this last comment up before we get score predictions. Can you look up Al Bundy's last comment? We can address that. Al Bundy and a bunch of numbers, whatever thing, because I definitely want to address that because I think he had a hard time listening. Okay, so I mentioned the super chat because we have a lot of comments today. He says, "Wow, was I just told only way my comments will be brought up is if I do a super chat?" Pete. Well, I hope you're still on because I did not say that. I said we have a lot. Thank you. I said we have a lot of people commenting, and if you want your comment read immediately or bumped to the top, then a super chat would help that. I didn't say you had to. I said it would help your chances because we have a lot of comments on today's show. So remember, we listen, but we don't judge. And even if you do judge, I don't give a damn, but you need to open your goddamn ears. All right, let's get into score predictions.
Whoa. Let me clear it up, Chef. Check this out. Hey, check this out, bro. Put your question in there. We'll get to it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? We'll get to it. I think that's what Shep was trying to say. I think that's what Shep was trying to say.
I think Chef said exactly what he was trying to say.
We speak a specific language. I definitely got that from him after I translated it.
Yeah.
I translated
that.
I'm just saying, if you're not going to listen properly, I mean, you got that comment read and you didn't super chat, so you can still comment. We'll still try to get to it. I'm just saying.
Hey, Chef.
You ain't speaking too fast.
You ain't speaking too fast, Chef. They're just listening too slow.
You
There you go.
goddamn right. I'm glad you said it. All right. Hey, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to start with our guest first. What is your score predictions for tonight? Let's start with Mouse.
I say 32-28. Go Niners.
Ooh,
My prediction is, first of all, I want to say I would take the under on the 52 over-under point spread. I would take the under. It's going to be right underneath it. I'm going 27-24. You go ahead and decide who you think that I'm putting the 27 on, but that's my score prediction right there.
Damn. What you got?
Check this out. I'm gonna be under because I got the beloved 27, 49ers 23. And that's 50. That's 50. So it's 51 and a half, the over and under. So I'm gonna take the under. 50 points. 27 Bears, 23 49ers.
Oh, they dropped it to 51 and a half. Yeah, but my I got it at 51. I got it at 51.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So the Bears have looked outstanding the past couple. Not looked at. They finished outstanding the last couple weeks. They finished the Browns off without a hitch. They did have two scrape ups in between with the Packers. Both games were close. Literally, they came down to the last pass on the fourth down on both plays. One got us to overtime.
Overtime walk-off thriller.
Right. One got us to overtime. One ended the game on a fourth down pretty much. The 49ers, man, I'm just going to say that I think I'm going to take the 49ers in a close one. I just think that I think Cal is going to make it a mission to run the ball just a little more, and is going to put the Bears behind the 8 ball, but I still think it's going to be close. My prediction, which I just came up right now, I think the in-score game is going to be 34-29, 49ers.
We're shooting it out.
Yo, killing me with this.
We're first that was one of the most beautiful reverse jinxes I've ever heard. I mean, I was trying to pull off an entire
You're rooting for my team to win. But hey, I've learned that you have to be differential when you pick your squad. That's what we've been working on as we go. Crooked Commish, what you got, man? You were just on. Jump your ass back on and give me your score.
He's calling the mob right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, is he going to post it? Are you going to post it? Okay, all right. He's telling me to close it out, even though he popped on the screen.
Hey, before you do close it out, man, a pleasure
all right.
to be back on the show. It was awesome. I had a great time.
Man, hey, thanks for joining us, brothers. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
You're awesome,
Chef.
It's
been great.
Seeing you again. I hope this isn't the last time. You know what I mean? Happy holidays to y'all. New Year's. A lot of new things. 2026, let's fucking go.
Absolutely.
Hey. All right.
All right.
Oh man, I hit the wrong back button. Okay, I want to thank our guests. I don't know. I'm sorry what happened. I want to thank everyone who chimed in. If I don't get to say your name, we are pushing the clock. We're 4 minutes past what we said our time was going to be. We had I believe we let our 49ers compadres come in and chat us up for a good hour and a half. I want to thank both you gentlemen for coming on. Mouth, I'm working on getting to your crib, but it's a little rough right now. Thank you for coming on. Thank you all for having me on the show last week. I did chime in a little bit while we watched Monday Night Football, but I got caught up with the family, so I want to thank both you gentlemen for coming on. You all were a lot more hospitable than them damn Packers fans.
A lot.
Hey, come back.
Absolutely.
Come on back. Hey, hashtag FGBF. Thank you so much for obviously coming on the show. Thank you, for Commissioner, for being an outstanding producer and putting this together, bringing all these voices together. Hey, Sunday night, primetime game, Bears 49ers. What you got, Anthony?
Hey, you can find me on TikTok at Anthony Stewart 816 amp. Anthony Stewart 816 amp. Yeah.
Okay, for those who are on TikTok, I'm on TikTok. Host HOST _chef. You get my halftime breakdown. You get my post-game breakdown. You get my victory shot or shooter when the Bears win. And I'm thinking about going live again, but going live puts me in a bad pigeonhole on putting out other videos. But without any further ado, we're going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for chiming in. Please remember to hit the like button. Whether you like me talking shit to you or not, whether you want to that matters. If you're viewing this long, leave us with a like or chat. Hit like and subscribe. I appreciate that. And thank you, Crazy.
Bear down. Bear down. Bear down, baby.
Bang,
Oh,
bang.
faithful!
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
DJ Moore.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.